The previous video we saw about the work done by epidemiologists in determining the risk factors of cancer. We saw how they developed the different statistics and correlate the different habits, environmental factors to that of the cancer incidence. So now in this presentation we are going to study about the various risk factors associated with cancer. So at the end of this presentation we will be able to study the importance of identifying these risk factors and the classification of the carcinogen. So here the identification of the risk factor is very important because the knowledge about these risk factors will help in the prevention of cancer. So it is very important to have a great knowledge about the various risk factors associated with cancer. So these are all the different factors here which you see in this slide, and they are known to cause the number outside the bracket is the incidence rate of cancer, and the number within the bracket is the death rate due to this cancer. Okay, so this tobacco usage led to around 30% of cancer, and diet led to around 35% of cancer. So out of this 35, around 10 to 70% was the mortality rate. Okay, so you can see, as you see here, there are so many other factors as well, including pollution, food additive, and consumer products and all. And this can be broadly classified into two types, that is the chemical or the environmental carcinogen, and then the lifestyle habits. So under the chemicals and environmental carcinogen, we have the smoking, radiation, and asbestos exposure, the smoke, food, alcohol, and the food toxins. Okay, so they cause the respective cancers, these respective cancers. So we can generally classify this again into two types. That is, there are factors which can't be changed and the factors which can be changed. So on the left hand side, if you see, you have the genetics, the age, gender, the race. Okay, race means the ethnicity of a person. There are different races, right? Hispanic, Caucasian, Mongolian. Okay, so all these things are also going to play a very important role in determining the risk factor of cancer on a particular person. And here the factors can be changed is on the right hand side. So all these things are the lifestyle habits. Okay, like cigarettes, smoking, diet, alcohol, sedentary lifestyle, all these things come under the risk factors which can be changed. Okay, so generally this risk factors has been the carcinogen, they have been classified into 4 groups by the International Agency for Research on Cancer. So the group 1 are the agents or the chemicals which are proved to be carcinogenic to human beings, and in group 2 you have 2 categories, A and B. So A is the carcinogen which are probably carcinogenic, and the 2B is possibly carcinogenic. Okay, so and once a compound has been studied elaborately, it will be moved from the group 2B to 2A. Okay, so it's like a ranking system. Okay, and group 3 is the agent is not classifiable, and the group 4 is not carcinogenic compounds. Okay, and this organization, they have classified it under group 1. You have the 118 agents are there. Around 118 carcinogenic agents have been identified, and group 2A around 81 carcinogens are being identified. And out of this 81, 48 are occupational. That is almost 50%. More than 50% of these carcinogens are occupational hazards. So this is the general pathophysiology of these risk factor, how it works. So whatever be the risk factor, be the environmental factor or inherited mutation, genetic factor. Okay, all these things will are the hormonal changes. All these factors will affect the DNA. Okay, it leads to the damage, causes DNA damage, which will result in the mutation in the genome. So once the genome is mutated, there are 3 different forms of mutation can occur. The first one is the this mutation will result in the activation of the oncogenes. Okay, so once these oncogenes are activated, these are the genes which are going to help in the development of cancer. So that will ultimately result in producing oncoproteins which will help in cell proliferation. And then you have the inactivation of the human suppressor gene. So tumor suppressor gene, they help in the prevention of cancer. Okay, they are like a brake for the cell cycle. So these tumor suppressor genes are supposed to be active state, but due to mutation in genome, this tumor suppressor gene it may get inactivated. So once it is inactivated, then there will be no more brake system for the cell cycle, and it will keep on multiplying. And the third one is the alteration in genes that regulate apoptosis. So apoptosis is the cell death cycle which will be activated when the DNA repair system is going to fail. Okay, so any mutation in this will result in failure of the cell death, and that will again result in cell multiplication or cell proliferation. Okay, so ultimately these three genes or these three mutation in any of these three genes will result in uncontrolled cell proliferation, which will result in tumor progression, and finally it will result in the formation of malignant neoplasms. Okay, so if you see, the first risk factor is the tobacco or smoking, and there are different forms of tobacco which are available. Okay, they are available in a cigar, cigarette, BD, and betel leaves. Okay, so both smoking and chewing is known to cause the different forms of cancer, starting from the mouth, that is the oral cancer, to larynx, pharynx, lungs, kidney, and bladder. Okay, so what does this smoke does actually? It is known to cause the mutation, or they have the ability to form the DNA annex. Okay, the compounds which are present in the tobacco, they are probably carcinogen, and they contain compounds like polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbon, and the nitrosamine, aldehydes, and then nicotine. Okay, all these compounds, they have the ability to form DNA annex. That is, these compounds, they generally enter the cell cytoplasm into the nucleus, and there they bind with the DNA directly, and it results in mutation. Okay, so the genes like KRAS and P53, PRB, okay, these things are the main target of this particular compound present in tobacco. And next you have the radiation. So radiation are present everywhere, right? Radiation, the radiation that we get from the sunlight is mostly UV rays, and it has been classified into three types: A, B, and C. Okay, and the C type of radiation, it never reaches the atmosphere because it has been filtered out by ozone. Okay, and the B form of radiation are the hazardous one, and it is known to cause skin cancer or melanoma. And the A radiation, UV ray, that is known to cause sunburn, or it destroys the pigments present in the skin. Okay, and it leads to the skin wrinkling and all. Okay, so the damage of this radiation, they are known to disturb the hydrogen bond present in the nucleic acid, and it also results in the formation of lesions. Okay, so there is generally the transition, single base transition, where the base pair cytosine, it gets converted to thymine. Okay, so all the C's, they get transited, it will be converted to thymine base pair, and it will result in the formation of dimers. Okay, so here only apoptosis is the main way of stopping the development of this particular cancer. Apart from that, we also have tumor genes, but sometimes the tumor suppressor genes, they also be mutated, and it results in cancer ultimately. Apart from this UV radiation, you also have X-ray radiation and nuclear weapons. So these radiations are known to cause reactive oxygen species. Okay, so this reactive oxygen species are free radicals, and that can directly damage the nucleic acid proteins which are present in the cell, or the enzymes. Okay, so they also disturb the phosphodiester bonds present in the DNA backbone. It results in the double strand break of the DNA. And next you have the alcohol. So alcohol is known to cause the oral, esophageal, liver, and rectal cancer. So once this alcohol is consumed in limited levels, okay, generally what happens is you have the enzyme ADH, that is the alcohol dehydrogenase, it converts it into acetaldehyde, and acetaldehyde gets converted to acetate by the enzyme acetaldehyde dehydrogenase. Okay, so this is what happens when the alcohol is consumed in repeated level, but sometimes when the level is high or when the alcohol consumed is more, this particular cytochrome 450, it tends to produce the reactive oxygen species, which is a DNA addict. Okay, and also it helps it to act on the acetaldehyde, and this acetaldehyde is another DNA addict. Okay, so all these things will cause DNA mutation. And sometimes also we can see that the enzymes, the genes which are coding for this particular enzyme, ADH, is being mutated, and most of the people, they are not able to metabolize the ethanol, and accumulation of this ethanol or acetaldehyde inside the system will also result in cancer. Okay, and then you have the diet. So there are so many food which are being identified as carcinogenic. The first one is the smoked food. Okay, and because when you are smoking the food using barbecue or grilling and all, they produce the amines, okay, nitroamines, and these amines are known to cause stomach cancer. And then the red meat, okay, and then other food additives and food contaminants like aflatoxin. Okay, aflatoxin is produced by the fungus Aspergillus flavus, and this aflatoxin is a very well known DNA addict. Okay, and then you have the saturated fatty acid, trans fatty acids, which are present in various vegetable oil, and you have refined sugar and flour. Okay, so this refined sugar, nowadays people are very conscious about using palm sugar or any other natural replacement for this thing. And also maida. Okay, when this particular flour is being produced, it undergoes many stages of bleaching, and that results in the extreme usage of chemicals, and which is not good for the human health. Okay, and then the occupational exposure. Okay, so occupational exposure, here we use so many. There are many jobs which are seen to be associated with cancer because of the extreme usage of heavy metals or chemicals. Heavy metals like arsenic, cadmium, mercury, lead, chromium are being widely used. And how is asbestos related to our occupational exposure? Most of the godowns or warehouses, they have this asbestos as roof. So asbestos has these small fibers. Okay, when these fibers are inhaled into the lungs, it causes inflammation, and this inflammation leads to chemokines and cytokines, which along with some proteolytic enzymes, and these enzymes will disrupt the microenvironment of the cell, that is the extracellular matrix, and the cells start mobilizing, which is similar to that of metastasis of cancer stage. Okay, so that is not good, and it results in the formation of asbestosis, which is a lung condition. Okay, and then it also increases the risk if any person is having the habit of smoking and drinking along with the exposure to these chemicals. Okay, and then the heavy metals are normally found used in most of the industries like chromium, leather industry, paper industry, dye industries, okay, paint industries, all those things they are using heavy metals. Okay, and then the engine from the exhaust from the engines. Okay, engine exhaust is also known to cause cancer. Okay, and infection by virus, bacteria have been identified or have been correlated with the incidence of cancer. So all these viruses we have already seen in various in other subjects, but here this Helicobacter pylori is one important bacteria which is known to cause ulcer in the stomach. Okay, and the discovery of this particular virus which causes cancer was awarded Nobel Prize. Okay, and that if you Google it, you will find very interesting fun facts about this particular discovery. That's where the scientist who drank the particular culture to prove that it is carcinogenic, that is, it's developing cancer, and he again treated himself with antibiotic. Okay, and here you see we have already seen this, right? The cycle, how the virus is able to cause an infection. Okay, and then obesity. Obesity, the excess fat present in the system is that results in obesity. That this is studied by using two factors. That is the BMI, that is body metabolic index, and the fat percentage. Okay, and then this results obesity causes the cancer of the breast and endometrium, and this is due to the excess production of the estrogen hormone by the fat tissue. And also the insulin level will be affected if the person is going to be obese, and it also results in oxidative stress. And the obese person with cancer, they have the expression of a particular hormone which is proteinaceous in nature, and that is called LET. Okay, because most of the hormones in our system are steroid in nature, but this particular hormone is proteinaceous in nature. Okay, and then the free radicals. Free radicals, these are the highly oxidizing agent which is produced by this inside the cell, and these have the ability to oxidize the fatty acid, nucleic acid, and proteins. And if you see in our system, we have the superoxide anions. Okay, so oxygen to the superfix solution with another minus, and here hydroxide anion OH superfix with the minus. Okay, so they are produced from exposure to radiation. If the cell is undergoing any form of stress, it starts producing this free radical. So these free radical has to be scavenged by antioxidants. So these antioxidants are present in most of the phytochemicals and the food that we consume. Okay, and also the enzymes like glutathione peroxidase and superoxide dismutase also help in counteracting these free radicals. And then the genetic factors. When the mutation is occurring in the somatic cell, that doesn't get transferred to the next generation. But if the mutation occurs in the germ cells, then the cancer cell line or the cancer will be transferred to the next generation, or the daughter cells will be affected. So here, if you see, retinoblastoma is one example for this thing, and we can study about the genetic factors in two-hit hypothesis also. Okay, and this genetic factor, it is known to cause the mutation in all these three things: oncogene, tumor suppressor gene, and DNA repair genes. So this particular form of chronic myelogenous leukemia, it is due to the genetic thing where we see the genes are translocated. Okay, you have the chromosomes number 9 and 22. So here the ends of the chromosomes are being replaced. Okay, so this kind of chromosome is called Philadelphia chromosome. Okay, and this is a xeroderma pigmentosa, which is caused due to the defect in the nucleotide excision repair. Okay, that is, this is one type of nucleotide excision repair is a type of mechanism for repairing the DNA mutations. So when it is defective, when the particular system is defective, that results in the formation of development of this form of cancer. So that's one of the factors of cancer. Let's see about the next topic, cell cycle.